Alarming reports from Seoul, North Korean troops primed for Ukraine war. The world watches as the Russia-Ukraine conflict takes a potentially explosive turn. Intelligence reports suggest North Korea is preparing to send troops to Ukraine. These soldiers are undergoing rigorous training in Russia. They are being drilled in basic Russian military commands. This indicates a clear intention to integrate them into the Russian military. As many as 10,000 North Korean soldiers could be involved. This has sent ripples of concern throughout South Korea and the international community. The implications are far-reaching, with potential to escalate the conflict. Whispers of war, secrecy, and unrest grip North Korea. Inside the Hermit Kingdom, a shroud of secrecy conceals Kim Jong-un's plans. The regime's tight grip on information keeps the deployment under wraps. Soldiers are forbidden from communicating with their families. Fabricated stories of routine exercises quell dissent. Whispers of truth seep through, causing fear and apprehension. The news sparks anxiety and unrest. Lost in translation, the language barrier on the battlefield. The deployment of North Korean troops to Ukraine is fraught with logistical nightmares, the most pressing of which is the formidable language barrier. While basic Russian commands are being drilled into the soldiers, their grasp of the language remains rudimentary at best. This lack of effective communication poses a significant challenge to their integration into the Russian military structure. The ability to coordinate maneuvers, relay orders, and communicate effectively with their Russian counterparts is crucial for any military unit to function cohesively on the battlefield. The absence of a common language creates a dangerous disconnect, increasing the risk of misunderstandings, misinterpretations, and potentially fatal errors in the heat of combat. This language barrier threatens to undermine the effectiveness of North Korean troops, turning them into a liability rather than an asset for the Russian war effort. The lack of skilled interpreters further exacerbates this challenge, leaving both sides struggling to bridge the linguistic divide. This communication breakdown on the front lines could have dire consequences, not only for the North Korean soldiers thrust into a foreign war, but also for the overall trajectory of the conflict. Section 4. A fragile alliance tensions simmer between Russia and North Korea. The partnership between Russia and North Korea, forged in the crucible of shared geopolitical interests, is far from a harmonious alliance. Intercepted audio recordings, purportedly of Russian soldiers, have exposed a simmering undercurrent of disdain and distrust towards their North Korean counterparts. The recordings reveal a pattern of derogatory language and dismissive attitudes towards the North Korean troops, painting a picture of a relationship marred by prejudice and a lack of respect. These sentiments are not merely confined to casual conversations, but point to deeper concerns about the capabilities and reliability of the North Korean soldiers. The recordings also highlight logistical headaches plaguing the integration of these troops. The ratio of officers to soldiers within the North Korean contingent has raised eyebrows among Russian military planners. This discrepancy, coupled with the persistent language barrier, has fueled doubts about their ability to effectively command and control their units on the battlefield. The intercepted conversations expose a fragile alliance, strained by mistrust, cultural differences, and the harsh realities of war. Section 5. Global Alarm Bells. International community condemns North Korean deployment. The international community has reacted with a mixture of condemnation and apprehension to the news of North Korea's military support for Russia. The deployment of troops to Ukraine is widely seen as a reckless escalation of the conflict, a dangerous gamble that threatens to destabilize an already volatile region. The United Nations has issued a stern rebuke of North Korea's actions, calling for an immediate cessation of hostilities and a return to diplomatic negotiations. The potential for this move to prolong the conflict, exacerbating the humanitarian crisis in Ukraine, has been met with widespread concern. The international community is also grappling with the long-term implications of this alliance. The transfer of military technology and expertise between Russia and North Korea has set off alarm bells, raising concerns about the proliferation of weapons and the potential for these weapons to end up in the wrong hands. The situation has triggered a flurry of diplomatic activity, with world leaders scrambling to contain the fallout and prevent further escalation. The deployment of North Korean troops to Ukraine represents a dangerous turning point in the conflict, one that could have far-reaching consequences for global security and